And we have to add you that score-wise, we have... score-wise is that we have 10-point lead by Cold after taking a 10-point penalty. So, I don't know what to say, but this is just absolutely amazing.
Hey, what it do? It's your boy Q, and welcome back to YouTube. And 2022 has officially kicked off for DBE, Dead by Esports. For those of y'all that don't know, last weekend we saw the start of round 1 of the New Year's Nightmare Tournament, and wowie, were we in for a treat. In DBE round 1 action, we see non-mirror matchups, meaning that the teams will be playing on the same map, but they're not required to play the same killer. They are, however, limited to picking a killer from a pool. So this month, we're banning the use of the Nurse, Blight, Spirit, Twins, and the Artist in round 1. But everyone else is available, and it's a best of 1 series. So you get 1 shot on killer, 1 shot on survivor, which means that every single mistake is costly, as we saw a lot of matchups coming down to the difference of just a hook or 2, or basically a generator or 2. All right. With that being said, though, I don't think any of us were expecting to see KVLT come out on top on Wrecker's Yard after seeing a 10-point penalty heading into trial number 1. If you are wanting to keep up with what the wolfpack has going on over in DBE, I'll leave a link for their Discord down in the description below. Of course, you're also going to find a link for my stream down there as well if you ever want to kick it and vibe. We do a lot of like looping and chilling basically with the community. And also, my personal Discord is going to be down there as well. If you want to keep up as far as where I'm shoutcasting at, our schedule is getting pretty hectic with DBD League Winter Circuit starting, and we do have Death by World Cup starting up here soon as well. But for now, let's go ahead and check out some DBE first round matchup action with KVLT against PIVO Squad making their DBE debut coming from the Russian scene. Don't forget to leave this video a like and a comment. And of course, we're chasing down 1,000 subscribers this year, so it'd mean a lot to me if you can hit that subscribe button down there. And of course, if you turn those notifications on, we can catch you right back here for that next video. All right. Till next time, though, with everything going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love harder. It's your boy Q, signing out.
Let me quote my wonderful partner Q. This is something related to rules, but that sounds like a dire intro. So here we are. And yeah, you can see it on the top of the screen. Colt is taking a -10 penalty. That is really, really huge. But the rule states, I'm going to read it out to everyone so you're aware of what's happening. If no voice chat is set up for a match, they need to keep an eye on the match channel and DC. If they do not do that after 60 seconds, as longer we are going into the match, we have tier 2, which is 3 generators done, tier 3, which is 5 generators, all survivor dead. KVLT didn't disconnect, so we had to play out the entire match, and that's a tier 3, and a tier 3 equals -10 points and a warning. But we have to say, KVLT put up a really, really amazing performance in the last survivor game, so they might pull it. However, we need to say that playing again an entire match, including the penalty, is going to be really difficult, right?
Yeah, definitely going to be tough to bounce back from, especially with no detective tap in the shadows to help save with the first hook of the game here. So really a lot better of a start here for our killer here for PIVO Squad. And here at this point, you can kind of vibe. You're over here on the side of the map that is the uncorrupt side, so you can kind of keep track of this one generator. You also have another one that's kind of close. You still have your gens across the map still covered here as well. And looks like we're probably just going to be forcing a second stage.
But KVLT is definitely using their time while the killer is doing that. 2 generators done. If they get the rescue onto Mordor here, in best case, without trading, that would be really, really huge. And Tap is coming in as well, together with the Feng here. We will also be able to see if Tap is able to put up another Flashlight save, but that's going to be a double injury here together with the down onto Daphne, so that's definitely a trade there potentially. Might be an unbreakable. The killer is for sure aware of it, as the points, the perks are going to be the same except the forbidden combination. Nice!
That was one of the combination perks though.
Yeah, that's true though. They have to... I'm actually not aware of the perks here, but the killer definitely we have to add that, Q. The killer has the advantage of knowing the perks.
Yeah, especially when it comes to who has your decisive strikes and things like that. Now, we do see at this point you come back over to, you were able to find the reset point, maybe going to be able to reestablish Fang back down onto the ground here. Probably going to, oh, nope, not going to be forcing themselves into the tortured status effect there, but that is going to be another down. Again, this is going to be beginning a pickup. This is going to be another fresh hook here at this point. So at this point, definitely a better start than we were looking at here in the beginning. Not sure if we're going to opt to put this in the basement. Do actually look like we're keeping them above ground just so we can push to this gen a little bit quicker.
And this is the next kick on a generator here. It is going to be a dry kick. Daphne, the second survivor on a hook here. 3 generators remaining. So the killer also with a better control here in the rematch in trial number 2. We see a skill check over there. So they are attacking the generators across the way. 2 of them might be close, but 2 of them are also injured. So it seems like Colt, if they want to go for the save here, they might need to take some time going for a reset, and that would mean that the killer is also buying more time for himself.
Ooh, yeah, but we do see there with the auras actually very spread out across the way, trying to get that pressure. I'm guessing that was part of the intention here. Now, though, another M2 now going to be putting Fang directly back down onto the ground, back up onto the shoulder you go. You have to assume that's because you know who has the decisive strike and who doesn't. That's going to be hook number 2. Still seeing auras all over the place, though. That probably means that this gen over here has got to be getting really, really close.
And now everyone is injured. So as close as the generators are, as close is the killer of PIVO squad here to really be able go for a snowball. However, Edge Map Andy is putting up a really, really great chase right here. Mordo is going down onto the floor. Now it is going to be the cage. So that equals a hook stage, second stage onto Mordo. 4 stages at the moment before going into the end game here. Overall, it looks like PIVO squad adjusted their tactic a little bit to make sure that more stages are applied in the mid game. So you can now go for tap or near and force one of the fresh hooks.
Yeah, we do see here, of course, at this point, that is going to be the no way out across the way. We are going to see an unhook here, and we are going to try, and it looks like the body block probably going to be that borrowed time. We are going to be able to close the distance towards the Nia. Nia does still have the pallet here. Ooh, gets done stupid, but with the down with the M2 at the same time. Nice play here. Now going to leave that player select for the extra pressure, since you do still have nobody working on the doors thanks to the no way out, closing our distance here onto the Nia, as we do see a heal coming onto the Fang here as well, but that's going to be the no one escapes death actually being cleansed.
And that is going to be Mado 5 also going down onto the floor. Now Mordo picked up, however, so you are in a good position there. Mado 5 is also one of these survivors you definitely want to go for here. We can also see that this trophy is bringing the survivor more away from the exit doors to have a larger distance and take some time from the survivors when they're trying to go for the save here. I feel like we talked about a decision of if you want to rescue or if you don't want to rescue. I feel like after the penalty and the rematch here, Colt might need this rescue.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the situation being not only the penalty, but the best of 1 series. You've already given up, a couple of stages here. I think I would definitely agree. You have to get the save, especially because you'd be giving up 2 additional stages if you were just to walk out the door. The tricky thing, though, is we do have an obsession here, which I'm not sure if they've moved in for the play there just quite yet, but we have a lot of distance between where the unhook just came in and the exit gates themselves. We do see, though, it is Nancy moving in for that body block. I'm not sure if they've had the discussion as far as what's been going on during the trial itself, trying to line up for the M2 here, though. I like this play. Should be able to get the down onto the tap. Oh, well, now what's the move here? Oh, wait, what?
Do they... That's going to be heal tag on 2 survivors. Tap is going to stay in. That's another fresher queue. And that's really not what you want. You talked about giving 2 stages if you leave, but that's going to be 3 stages added here.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you can definitely see why you were trying to maybe move some of your other players in as far as to get the body block, especially since your obsession was on Death Hook. But now you also still have 1 more survivor that's even close. That's not the place to, but nice dodge there for the M2. Now just going to be taking the 3 out here.
Yeah, so that is going to be... Yeah, maybe we have to say, maybe Colt is putting up something different here. Let's have a little bit of his sneak peek here to the survivors. They are going for the heal. The killer knows that. He is aware of the location. So he's also not pushing them out, which he could do as there's no deliverance and also not allowed to Kobe. And it seems like that's what the killer is going to do right now. A little bit of memeing here towards the end. But... trying to bait the Nia into getting the rescue here, but let's look on the stages though. We have, I believe, 9 stages now, which is a really huge result for our killer here.
I mean, you have the 9 stages, which you would normally be more than happy with in a best of 1 series, but you add the point penalty on top. Woof! Man, talk about, I mean, coming out and being able to really put on a statement for your, I mean, I guess this wouldn't be their first game, but this is their first broadcasted game in DBE, right?
Yeah, that's their first streamed game here. And my score is 22 for PIVO squad, 13 for Colt. My scorekeepers need to confirm that in the background real quick for me. But that is
that would be before the penalty?
That would be before the penalty, yeah. So... after that, we would need to calculate. We're waiting for the confirmation by staff on the score, and then we can also look into the win condition, because that's going to be the interesting one. How they have to play this out now after the penalty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point you would need almost a darn near perfect game, right? I mean, you're gonna probably be seeing a very aggressive build. I mean, obviously you can't change your killer, but you might be changing your strategy. You're definitely going to be coming out, I would assume, with a very aggressive build here to try and come out and hope that maybe while you got a little bit of a break here, you do yourself a nice little RNG rain dance, you know, get everything lined up, and just hope everything works out when you roll into this next trial.
Yeah, so we got a little bit of a correction here. It was 8 stages, so 2014 is going to be the score after trial number 1 here, so 20-4 basically. And that is going to be difficult. We have a 16-point difference here in favor for PIVO squad, and Colt is coming out on the killer side. So let's say they get a 4K on all generators done. That would be 28-10. There would be 18 points difference, so that would be enough.
So you're saying they need to get so basically you don't even need to get all the gens done here, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so PIVO squad needs an out on the survivor side, and
okay,
Colt,
I was thinking the opposite way. Gotcha.
Colt can basically, the killer can go for an end game speed run with no way out, something like that. And if you keep all survivors in, then you still win. That's doable.
That's doable, but oh man. I mean, at least the good news is you were able to at least secure the 2 out and still have yourself a winnable condition here. But man, that's a lot of pressure moving into the last trial.
It really is, because like we talk about it, like, yeah, that would be enough if you just kill anyone last second, but
we're forgetting like the killer pool though too, right? Like it's basically all M1s. So.
Yeah, we forget that, and that PIVO squad is a really good and talented team as well. Colt is facing here. So we're always talking about the experience of Colt here, but their opponent is really looking out for a surprise here. Really quick once again, because I saw a lot of questions about the penalty of Colt because people came in late. if no VC is set up, teams need to have a look onto the match channel. They have to DC in 60 seconds when staff is calling one. If you do that, everything is fine. But if you take longer than 60 seconds, it's going to be a tier 2 or tier 3 penalty based on the match progress. The reason is that the killer also, like in this case, it was the killer who didn't break any rules. The killer has to put a lot of effort, a lot of concentration, a lot of focus into the trial, and then it's going to be a restart potentially, or maybe you have a bad trial because the survivors are using something that is not allowed. But definitely you have to play a game, and that then you need to play it again, so you have the other team getting penalized for that. And it is basically orientated from the match progress. So if we load in, detect the wrong perk, teams DC, that's -2. Until 3 generators are done, all survivors alive is tier 2, that is -5 in the restart. And tier 3 is after 3 generators have been completed, so generator number 4. Or if someone is already removed from the trial, to also make sure that we meet the fact that the killer already forced himself into a 3v1 situation. So -10 here for Cold. We know that this is really unfortunate, but there is a good reason why these rules are there. And everyone has access to them, so they're getting enforced how they're written down. But that just as an explanation.
There's one thing that's like really good to bring up though too, just in case anyone's like, well, because the thing was like the unbreakable decisive, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
right,
was the case.
So I know there might be a question where some people are like, oh, well, it didn't come into play, but you know, at no point do we ever want that to be a decision on a referee or anything. It has to be, I mean, we go very much strictly by the rules. It just helps with as far as like the integrity of the rule set here in DBE. So if there's anybody that has that question, that even that somebody might ask, well, it didn't even affect anything, that's right, why the rule still has to be enforced.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm actually really glad that you brought that up, because that's important to mention. And it was an argument, right? Unbreakable and decisive strike together didn't come into play, but as you say, it would offer a lot of interpretation about the match. And what is affecting the game then? Is it when the killer is waiting out a potential DS and worries about it, and then the unbreakable comes into play?
Right.
Or like, I totally agree, and it was a really important point. Same way, we had a situation where I felt really bad. It was a trauma survivor running towards the exit gate and being already in the exit gate nearly, and then they decede from the match by internet issues. And based on the rules, you count as killed when you DC. And the argument was, trauma survivor was already close to the exit gate. They would have been out. And there we also counted the survivor as killed, because otherwise, next week someone says, yeah, but I would have used Lithe in this jungle gym, and then I would have been out too. Or and then once you start this, you're in an endless circle of interpretation, and that's something we strictly try to avoid here in DBE. And that is sometimes harsh and sometimes really difficult for teams. We understand that, but we strongly believe that on a longer perspective, as you say, integrity, and that everyone can count on the rules and trust into the rules, we decided to never go away from how they're worded. So it's -10 for Cold here, and it's difficult, but we have talked about the win condition. Matter 5 needs a 4K on all.
Wait. Did you say it's difficult? Let's go. Sorry.
IQ. You and me are coming in with new jokes here for the new year. Yeah, so it's difficult to meet up the win condition. I believe also that if he would 4K on 1 gen remaining, it might be a tie. Not entirely sure. So
because that'd be what, 28-8 though, right?
Yeah.
4K on...
Oh no, wait. Actually, if 2 stages get out, I think then we would have the chance. Or 1 stage. There's definitely a tie possible. So we might even see that. But for your orientation at home, you can be sure that if the 4K happens on all generators remaining, that is going to be the win for Cold still. As we have 4-20, they are down by 16 points, and 28-10. 28-10 would be the score then, so they would make up 18 points, and that would be the win for Colt. Going to be an interesting match. The players are ready. We see Cactus Strange, Milestone, Satellaf, and Kujark. I apologize if I got the name wrong. They are ready for PIVO squad, and we're gonna load into the match after a little break.
All right, let's go ahead and take another trip back into the fog. This time we have Mad, who's just vibing, I guess. Chill. Okay, here we go. Mad coming in. Mad going to need
Wait, we have
really
a balance offense. Double D strike. Double D strike. Another restart.
Oh, but this helps Colt though.
That really helps because knowing the perks is really coming in clutch when you are opting to go for the 4K.
Yeah, and especially because we do see here, we're not seeing a DC right away. We could be looking at a similar situation to like we saw in trial number 1, really opening the door and letting KVLT back in. That is really tough here. I mean, especially because we're seeing, I mean, here we still got survivors running around. We have Adam getting pushed off the gen. I mean, right now too, I don't know if that's Matt. Oh, Matt's just gonna go do it. Oh, what a gentleman and a scholar. I would have made them do it.
That's a gentleman move. I have to agree, Q. That's a
no
gentleman
way
move.
Yeah, no way I'm doing that.
That's a gentleman move because if they wouldn't have DC'd and they have the rule offense on their end, that would have been potentially the -10 on their side either. So that's also something we need to put on the wall in the sportsmanship archives towards Colt here and towards Meadow 5 for taking the responsibility from the other team.
Yeah, that's mad props, because if I'm in that situation, I'm taking all the help that I can get. You're already getting the 1 penalty, and I understand it, right? Especially seeing if you come out with a certain build, you don't want to have a great game and still need it to be restarted and feel like you talked about, you know, feeling like you put all that effort into it. But if I can get a chance to maybe still get a -5 or a -10, I will sit in Killer Shack and just let them feel like they're winning for a while and let that counter go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is though, we are making it a little bit tricky. We always ping both teams to DC in hoping that someone is doing it. So Colt didn't know that it's on the survivor side, and even though you can kind of guess it, right? Because if you have your killer build correct, then you know that is on the survivor side. You can only switch 1 DS out. So PIVO squad here with a little bit of a penalty, 2 points and a warning, and that is yeah. The good thing, as you mentioned, is that you have to reveal all the perks to Colt now and can't really change them. So
does that mean they also have to reveal who's keeping the DS? Just curious.
No, they actually don't need to.
Okay.
That's something I was always thinking about. But it's not in the rules, and therefore we can't enforce it in this. And like it might come in actually in February. We were talking about it. The argument against it is that you already take the penalty, need to reveal everything, and you already reduce a ton of chance, right? And having like this.
I mean, at least now you know it's down to 1 of 2 survivors.
Yeah.
I guess.
So you already have that. So we were like. Also revealing that on top sometimes feels a little bit harsh, and
I mean, bruh. I mean, don't double. I mean, let's get our perks right, man. No.
So it seems like a little bit of the I think it's the new event, right? A new event is coming out. People are struggling a little bit. With the balancing. Everything is new, so you are a little bit all over the place potentially. So what we notice is throughout an event, the balance offenses are drastically reducing. In round 2, we have nearly no offenses anymore. It's often the first round where we see some offenses, and the qualifiers is we have a lot of new teams, but then then it's getting really, really different. So the win condition, however, changed. You can have a one-stage escape now, so you don't need to get anyone in the end game. And this start here, this is what Colt needs to turn this match, though.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about getting a very quick down in your corrupt side of the map too. So you're kind of at an option here. If you want, you can kind of stay in the area, maybe string a gen or two together. Maybe you give away the far side of the map is an option. We do see the Undying getting broken here as well, but knowing that you at this point just need to make sure you get all of your eliminations. If you got somebody down this early, I would probably force a second stage too.
Yeah, the second stage here is definitely a good choice because you have so much time. We are just half of Corrupt expired here, so there is a lot of time remaining here on this side. You also have a nice 3-gen here, and once you put yourself in a 3v1 situation, Wrecker's Yard is not the worst map to go with that, because it's kind of small. You can also make sure you remove some resources here on this side, especially in case they're coming in for the rescue. They're gonna use some of these filler pallets we see here, so that is coming in really, really handy. And if Mado5 manages to get the Adam prepared for a tunnel out, which is going to happen right now with the second stage, that's a really beautiful start for Colt here.
Yeah, a really strong start. The one thing to keep in mind, though, you know, you had kind of talked about the 3-gen that you're already set up in here. You know, Wrecker's Yard does sometimes offer a rather limited like hook resource count. So you might be losing a hook, you know, valuable hook in your 3-gen here. But I think that's okay because you talked about the game changes completely at the time that it turns to a 3v1. And if our survivors here from PIVO squad cannot at least get 2, if not 3 gens for 120 seconds worth of hook time, they're going to be in a really, really tough spot.
Yeah, they definitely need 3 generators here, because that's also the only thing they can do right now. If you say we are not going to rescue our teammate and we get Ruin Undying out of the way, then we split up on 3 individual generators, and that's then gonna lead into the 3v1. Actually, 5 generators still standing queue. That is not only good in terms of the score or the time the killer gets, that's also something for your confidence and for your mindset.
Yeah, I would agree. I would have to say that Mado5 definitely has to be feeling very, very good right now. Yeah, you still have a lot of your pallets still up across the map, but you mentioned, you know, all the gens still up. We only saw generator number 1 getting done, and now you've got another very quick down. And also now this hook is going to be by one of your generators that you can probably assume have the most progress still left on the map. You can just kind of monitor this and monitor your hook, and you can just vibe.
Yeah, you really can, and you don't even need to, like, you as a killer are not in the need right now to make another move, right? You have time, you have awarded that to you. Very nice one on to the ace here. That's going to the BT. So Mac is going to be busy with mending and healing, so you buy a little bit of extra time for yourself. Nice patience here, but ace has not much to go for. Nice patience onto Milston, the down in the map corner here. And Mado5 actually checking if there's the potential to slug, but now going back and hook the ace here. So you have 3 survivors hooked at this point. 1 is already dead, and 1 survivor is injured. That leaves Nia as the only repairing survivor at the moment on 4 generators remaining. If that's not the chance here for Colt to come back in a 1-set match with a -10 penalty, then I don't know what else.
This is pretty impressive, honestly, to see the performance right now from Mado5, you know, being able to just compound this pressure. It's very often that we see that Ruin Undying does get cleansed very quick, and I wouldn't say that you got super like long Ruin Undying value, but you got just enough of where you needed it. We do see that the Nia did stick the gen, was able to get generator number 2, but the Nia now being down, and now you do see the Megan closing in the distance towards the hook. Kieran with the nice shot! That was beautiful!
Oh my goodness, and that's exactly how you also want to finish it, right? Because we just talked about it, how you come back from -10 from a huge penalty in a 1-set game, and then you finish it with a snipe like this. What a sign by Colt to everyone in the tournament that they need to watch out for them.
Man, I tell you what, I say it often, but right now is one of the times that I would just love to be in that comms channel right now. I am sure KVLT's voice comms is going nuts. What a performance from Matt05, being able to come back, bounce back from the penalty. You know, the survivors still did a good job on their end, but then coming out here with a very strong performance. Only 2 generators done, and I'm not sure what resolution y'all are watching this in, but that does look like a 4K to me.
And we have to add, Q, that score-wise, we have... score-wise is that we have 10-point lead by Colt after taking a 10-point penalty. So, I don't know what to say, but this is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's definitely very, very impressive. And that's Matt05 is definitely the we can say the MVP for KVLT here. What a performance, and coming out here. I mean, I know that we've generally kind of put Huntress on records quite often, but man, talk about just coming out and just showing that you're a force to be reckoned with. That was amazing.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be.